One of the conditions you must meet in order to apply for permanent residency or citizenship in the Netherlands is that you must pass the Civic integration exam. The Civic integration exam is your way of integrating into the Dutch society, learning the language, understanding the culture, the society, and the people of the Netherlands. In this video, I'll be discussing the Civic integration exam, the structure of this exam, the language requirement, and the proficiency level, and every other thing you need to know about writing and passing the Civic integration exam. I will also be talking about what happens if you find it difficult to pass the exam. So stay tuned so you don't miss any of the important details. What is the structure of the Civic integration exam? The Civic integration exam is structured in two parts. One part is the language requirement and the other part is the knowledge requirement. For the language requirement, you have to write 4 different exams: reading, speaking, writing, and listening. If you are familiar with IELTS for English language, that follows the same pattern for Dutch language. What is the level of proficiency for the language exam? The Dutch language proficiency ranges from level A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, and C2. A1 being the beginner level and C2 the advanced level. As of the time of recording this video, the inburgering exam, that is the Civic integration exam, is still at level A2. So as of this year, as of this moment, the government is still accepting the beginner A2 level for your Civic integration exam. However, there is a law already passed in 2021 to move the level of proficiency to B1. This is going to be implemented anytime in the future. So you are advised to already start your exam this year if you are currently in the Netherlands, because there is a provision that allows you to continue on the level of A2 provided you start that exam this year, even if you fail the exam or only attempted one of the modules. That will give you the grace to still continue at the level of A2 for your inburgering exam. Now let's talk about the second part of the Civic integration exam, which is the knowledge module. And the knowledge module is broken into 2 parts: the knowledge of Dutch society module and the job market participation module. The knowledge of the Dutch society module is also a computer-based exam. For the job market and participation module, this is a kind of a practical module that you do in conjunction with your municipality. However, if you have job experience within the Netherlands, you can apply for exemption. Personally, I applied for exemption for this module, so I didn't have to do the job participation module because I already have work experience in the Netherlands. Is the Civic integration exam too difficult? Well, it all depends on your previous education level and also how quickly you pick new languages. Some people are very good and gifted when it comes to picking new languages. Some others struggle with it. Some people can easily speak but cannot write. Some others can write, but speaking is a big challenge. So it all depends on your own specific situation. But in a lot of cases, you can prepare and pass these exams within 1 year. There are a lot of people who get it within 6 months. So it is something that is possible. Personally, I passed all my exams in one sitting and with very good grades. So that makes me know that it is possible and attainable. You just need to allocate time and effort towards achieving it. Now you may ask, what if I am not able to pass the Dutch integration exam? Does it mean my hope of getting permanent residence is lost? What are my options? Well, in a situation where an individual has tried several times and yet could not pass the exam. The Ministry of Education will assess that individual and might grant exemption approval. But this is under 3 conditions. Number 1, you must show evidence that you have attended at least 600 hours of classes. Number 2, the language school you have attended must be from the approved list of language schools. I'll leave the link of the approved schools in the description of this video. The 3rd condition is that there must be a proof that you have attempted these exams at least 3 times without success. Under these conditions, the Ministry of Education might give you a letter of exemption acknowledging that you have put in sufficient time and effort in integrating into the Dutch society. It is just that passing the exam has proved very difficult for you. Finding the right Dutch language school. First, my recommendation will be to check with your municipality. Find out if they have partnership with some language schools and if they provide some sort of assistance to help foreigners integrate into the Dutch society. A lot of municipalities have programs for this. Of course, it depends sometimes on your visa type. If you're a refugee, most likely there are programs that the municipality organize for people of that status. And if you are wanting to integrate because you are married to a Dutch citizen, there could also be specific programs for those people. But here in Rotterdam, for instance, the municipality of Rotterdam has a support for any foreigner who is resident and registered in Rotterdam to integrate into the Dutch society. So I attended 2 of those classes and I didn't have to pay, and I found that very, very helpful. I didn't have to pay for those classes. I believe that other municipalities might have similar offers, but if they don't have, the second option is to use the tool on the website of inburgering.nl to locate a school that is close to your location or close to your place of work. Alternatively, you can speak to other experts and foreigners around you. They might recommend the place that they have used that they find a good learning location. Just make sure that they are listed on the approved list of language schools. Where can you practice the civic integration exams? On the website of inburgering.nl, you will find practice questions there. On YouTube, you'll find various Dutch YouTube channels that you can also practice and learn from. I'll leave a link to a few channels in the description of this video as well. And for those who are completely new in the Netherlands or still outside of the Netherlands and looking to come to the Netherlands, I would also want to refer you to the website nederland.nl. And this website, you will learn a lot about the Dutch culture, the Dutch society, and quite a bit of information on the Dutch language as well. Fourthly, look for opportunity to practice with people physically or via online. You want to check with the public library in your area of work or where you live. Most public libraries have what they call taal cafes, and this is where people come together to just practice the Dutch language. You usually don't have to pay for these visits. You just come, find a community there that is still at the level that you are, because you are going to meet different groups of people who are practicing at different levels of Dutch, and they have volunteers who come there at different times of the day to practice just speaking and listening to each other, practice the use of the language. The 5th point is that on a personal level, you want to look for opportunity to expose yourself to the language on a daily basis. Listen to radio programs in Dutch, watch local TV stations, listen to podcasts in Dutch. This way you expose yourself on a daily basis to the language, and subconsciously you continue to pick new words and understand more and more as the day go by. While learning the Dutch language might seem as a difficult task or a long journey, it is actually achievable. Like I said earlier, I passed all the exams in one sitting and I did have good grades. That means that you can do it also. You just need to give it the time and attention it requires. Find community of people who you can practice with. Another thing I need to say is, wherever possible, attend programs that are organized by the municipality. Sometimes you meet people who are not able to speak English language, and that is where you have the most opportunity to practice your Dutch. Because when we meet among those of us that speak English language, we most times switch to speaking English and we do not practice enough Dutch. But if you find yourself among those who do not speak English language, then you are forced to practice your Dutch, not minding the accent, and that way your proficiency is improved, your knowledge and usage of the language is improved. So I'm curious to know, are you currently writing Civic integration exam? I would like you to share your experience with us and any ideas you think some other people can learn from, so that they can also achieve their dream of getting their Civic integration diploma. Hopefully you found this video helpful so far, and if you have not done so already, please consider subscribing to my channel, give the video a thumbs up, share it with someone you care about. It might be helpful for them as well. Then watch the video on the screen talking about permanent residency versus citizenship. Which option would you be going for and why? I'll see you there, and take care and be blessed.